I know. Before you say anything, please hear me out. Please hear me out. Hello there. It's Adrian, and I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm okay, I'm fine, and you're welcome. Welcome back to the channel where I talk about my unfiltered thoughts and opinions that nobody asked for. If that sounds like something that you're into, like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into today's episode. I know, it's been quite a while. It's been quite a while since I last uploaded a new video, and I do not like having excuses or making excuses to why I can't do something, because you guys know when I want to do something, I do it. When I say I'm gonna do something, I try my best to do it. But if I were to describe it in three simple words, it would just be construction, fatigue, and exhaustion. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. But yeah, here I am, and that's what matters. And I'm still exhausted, but we're not gonna talk about that. And also, let me paint the picture for you of what is going on right now, where I'm at in my environment. I am outside on the street. I am by myself. There is cars driving by. There is a lot of people passing by, and I'm outside because it's so loud inside. There's like a lot of people talking. There's so much going on, and I just cannot get or have a space of my own where I can just like film an episode in peace. And I think this is one of the many reasons to why it's just so hard for me to film video episodes or record these audio format mini podcasts for you guys. It's just because there is always something going on, always something freaking going on. And I don't know if you can hear it. You can hear it right now, but there is cars and trucks in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm sure you can. I mean, I'm gonna try my best to edit that part out, but there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of noise in the background, but I also still have to put this out, so you're gonna have to forgive me for that. But yeah, as you've seen from the title, something that we all know, this is not something new, but something that we all know, is that the people that we have in our lives, the people that we surround ourselves with, the people that we have as friends, as colleagues, as companions, I mean, whatever you want to call it, just like friends in general, the people that we choose to hang around are really, really, really important. Like the people that we choose to be around, we end up becoming them. We don't end up becoming them, like literally, but we end up becoming like them. You know what I mean? Like the people that we have around matters a lot, a lot. It's not something new. There's that quote that goes, show me the five average people that you hang around, then I'll show you who you are, or I'll show you your future, or whatever the quote says, or whoever said it. That is so true. It's not something new. We all know that. But why do we still somehow end up finding ourselves in the situations where we're just surrounded by people who are not good? They're not good for us. They're not good for our mental health and overall well-being, our future, all of it. I'm sorry to interrupt this, but did I mention that I'm standing? Yes, I'm out in the street just standing. I'm not even sitting. I'm just like pacing around. I am, and there's people staring like I'm a crazy person. But do I also care? No. Let's get back into the episode. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it matters. It matters because it affects every aspect of our lives. It really does. Not to be dramatic, but it does. The average person or people that you surround yourself with and hang out with on a daily basis really matters, because it's true. That card is really true. Like, show me who you hang around, and I'll show you who you are and your future. That is so true, and it's something that I know and something that I take really, really seriously. Like, I take it really, really seriously. I make it a mission to make sure that I surround myself with people who are not only good for me, but good for my mental health, good for my future, people that can invest in me, and I can also invest in them. And I also try my best to be that person who's just like a good friend, a good shoulder to cry on, or someone who can just be a good ear, somebody who can just sit there and listen to you and your problems and listen to everything that you have to basically rant and complain about. I also try to be the friend that just gives advice and is just always there whenever their friends needs them. I'm not perfect. Nobody is, but I try my best. You know what I mean? Like I try my best to be that person. Again, excuse those background noises. I try my best, but it's something that I take so damn seriously. Like I cannot even begin to tell you how, to what extent I've taken this, because it is that serious. It is that serious because I know myself. I know myself. I know that whenever I start to hang around certain people, I mean, I'm a very disciplined person. You know what I mean? I can be around certain people and still not pick up on their behavior, but also on the flip side, it's also kind of easy for me to pick up on those little habits of people. It's mostly those habits that are like harmless. They're harmless. It's just not gonna do anything because I've hang around people who are literal alcoholics, and they smoke and do drugs, whatever. And I've never done it. I've never done any of that, and I'm not planning to do any of it. Because again, I am a very disciplined person, and I have no interest in doing any of that. So yeah, it's easy for me to be disciplined in that way, in that aspect. You know what I mean? But also it's quite easy for me to just pick up on those little habits of people that are like sometimes harmless. I mean, not all the time, but like sometimes harmless, because when somebody talks and expresses themselves in a certain way, when I start to hang around them, and I'm like always around them, whether that be school or work environment, it doesn't matter what it is, or they're like a neighbor and we just like always hang together, and they like act a certain way, I will always find myself acting like them a little bit. It's not even copying. No, it's not copying. It's just like I adopt all these little ways in which they maybe speak certain words or say certain things, or their jokes, not because again I'm trying. It's just something that happens very subconsciously. And not only do I know this with myself, I know this with other people, with my friends, where I have certain ways that I guess talk and express myself, and because they hang around me so much, they will start to speak that way. Maybe because they hang around with they hang around me so much, they start to move in those kind of ways. They start to dress in those kind of ways. They start to make those kind of jokes that I would make. You know what I mean? And it's not because they are trying to copy me or be me, but again, that's what happens. That's what naturally happens when you surround yourself with certain people and you spend a lot of time with them. You will kind of like steal these little things from each other. It's not even stealing, but I guess you can try to put it that way. Just like, you know end up finding yourself acting in ways that these people would. And I just had a situation recently where I'm starting to feel like I noticed that I started to act in certain ways that weren't really mine, that in ways that I wouldn't originally act. And I sat with myself and truly reflected and asked myself, why are you acting this way? Why are you acting this way? And it just hit me, and it hit me, and I was like, oh, you act this way because this is who you've been surrounding yourself with. And it's not good. It's not something that I'm proud of. I'm not gonna say what it is. I mean, I didn't do anything bad. Like, I'm smoking or drinking or doing drugs. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just like in ways that I talk and express myself, there are certain things that I just don't say. And not to toot my own horns, but I'm such a gentleman. I'm such a gentleman the way that I talk. I do not curse unnecessarily and say certain things. I do not. I'm someone who wasn't raised in that kind of house. I just was like, my parents really did their job. Like, they really did their job to make sure that they raised me right, the right way, the correct way. And that's something that I'm really proud of, and they've always been proud of me for that. But because I'm now surrounding myself with certain people, I mean, we are adults. If you want to curse, go ahead and curse. You can do whatever you want. I curse sometimes, but I was just finding myself saying certain things or acting in certain ways that I wouldn't normally act, or say things that I wouldn't normally say, and it's not something that I'm proud of. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, I had to sit with myself and be like, Adrian, this is not you. Like, seriously, this is not you. Get it together. Get it together. This is not you. This is not how you were raised. This is not what we do. By we, I mean me, myself, and I. This is not what we do. This is not how we act. Get it together. And I asked myself, like, where did this even come from? And it was easy for me to spot. It was because of these people that I was surrounding myself with. Not because I wanted to even, but because I'm kind of like forced, because these are people that I have to see every single day. It's people that I have to see and interact with on a daily basis. So it's just like, I have no choice but to be around these people. And with that comes their behaviors. I mean, we were all brought up differently. People come from different households. Everyone was raised by different people. So when they come into my space and into my life, and they act a certain way and I act a certain way, and it kind of like clashes, what ends up happening is it's almost like I end up finding myself adopting some of their behaviors and mannerisms and the way that they speak, and they end up doing the same thing, kind of like adopting my mannerisms, the way that I speak and carry myself. But mostly what I was noticing, at least with myself on my side, is I was just like really acting in ways that I wasn't that I weren't proud of. And it was these ways that these people would act, and it's not something I do not want to judge them. I do not want to judge anybody by any means with the way that they act or anything like that, but it's just not something that I was proud of. Again, everybody was raised differently. Everybody comes from different families, but it's not something that I was proud of. I had to sit with myself and be like, I do not like this. This is not something that I'm proud of. This is not something that I like, and therefore I need to get my act together. And it just reminded me of that code again. Like, you are who you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by people who speak horribly, and they're just like vulgar, or they're unambitious, and they're not motivated, and they're just stupid and dumb. And I do not like to call people dumb and stupid, but some people are. I'm sorry, some people are dumb and stupid. Even if you're like the smartest person in the world, you end up finding yourself being dumb as well. You end up finding yourself being stupid. This is why I like to surround myself with people that I think are interesting and I think are smarter than me. I mean, most of the time that never really happens, but again, I'm not trying to toot my own horns, but I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. But I try my best to surround myself with people that are like smart, so that I can, when you're around smart people, you'll be smart. You'll be smarter. When you're around intelligent people, you'll be more intelligent. When you're around motivated people and ambitious people, you'll be more motivated and ambitious. That's what happens. And I think that's what you should be doing too. I think that's what you should be sitting with yourself and reflecting on, and asking yourself, are the people that I'm surrounding myself with right now the right people? Am I learning something from them? Am I becoming a better person simply by being in their orbit and their presence and their company? If that's not the case, then you need to bring the scissors out. Bring the scissors out and cut those. I'm not telling you to burn bridges or cut these people off, but just like spend less time with them. If all they do is just talk crap about other people, they're lazy and unambitious and unmotivated, and they are not smart. They don't even try to be They don't want to learn new things. They don't want to go anywhere with their life. They don't have any goals. What are you doing around them? I'm sorry, but what are you doing around them? Stop it. I also remember a time where when I was like 16, I was going through my phone and I had like hundreds of numbers of people, and I kind of like had to sit with myself and be like, this person, I haven't talked to them in a long time. This one, I don't even learn anything from them. Like, why do I even surround myself with these people? Why do I even talk to them? I'm sorry, but I had to block a lot of people. I had to stop associating myself with certain people because I'm like, why am I even friends with this person? Why do I even talk to them? Why do I even force myself to be around them and to be in their orbit or whatever? Like, no, absolutely not. You need to get it together. And and that's what I've been doing for years, and it's something that I'm proud of. But recently, it just changed a little bit because, again, I slipped. I'm human. I'm human too. I'm not perfect, but I slipped. But I slipped because I have to spend a lot of time with these people, and I just ended up finding myself acting in ways that I wasn't very proud of. Again, it's not something worse. It's nothing. Again, we are adults. It's nothing, but still, it's just like I was like, this is not me. This is not who I am. This is not what I represent. And if the people that are used to the people who know me in real life knew that I also act like this. I don't actually act like that, but I was starting to act like this. I don't think they would be proud. I mean, some would be happy because they feel like I'm such a grandpa and don't let loose, and I'm just so serious. I feel like some would be happy, like, yay, finally, Adrian is finally acting his age and acting like a young man instead of a grumpy grandpa, but still, that's not me. I am the grumpy grandpa. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's the thing. I really do encourage you to just spend more time with yourself and figure out who you are and what you want, and then figure out who you want to be around and figure out where you want to be and where you want to get to, and then choose people that align with that. Choose people that reflect that. If they don't, then what's the point of you having them in your life and in your company? I mean, you can have them in your life, but you don't have to interact with them that much or hang out with them that much, because when you do hang out with these people, their habits, their behaviors, their personality will rub off on you. Their mentality will rub off on you, and you might think that it's not that deep, it's not that serious, but it is that deep. It is that deep, and it is that serious. So it's very, very important to be intentional with who you choose to let in your life and who you choose to surround yourself with. It's very, very crucial and very, very important. Again, I'm not telling you anything that is like news. No, I'm not telling you anything groundbreaking. It's something that you already know, but I think we all need this reminder. This is a reminder that we all need, because sometimes we slip, sometimes we forget. Like myself, I forgot a little bit. I was like, oh, I need to get back on track. This is not who we are. This is not who we stand. This is not what we stand for. Get it together, Adrian. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what it is. And that's what I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And I hope the episode wasn't too long. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today's episode. I love you. Take care of yourself. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm so happy. I'm like very exhausted. I didn't even want to film, but this is not you guys' fault. I love doing this, but this is what I always talk about. I didn't want to film. I mean, I didn't want to record, but now that I'm recording, I'm having such a blast and already having my mood it has already improved. I'm not grumpy anymore. I mean, I'm still tired. I still need to go and rest, but yeah, I love you guys. Like, I literally love you so much. And I know you might be like, Adrian, shut up. You don't even know us. You don't even know what we look like. Like, I don't care. Does that even matter? I don't care. I don't. But I love you so, so much. And take care of yourself. If you're new, like and subscribe. Join the family if you feel like it. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. This was fun. But don't worry, I'll try my best and try the best that I possibly can to basically balance my uh, work that I do, my day job, and this, because it's a lot. It's very physically demanding. So I'm not complaining. I'm just sharing, I'm just sharing so that you guys know. But I love you. Take care of yourself. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.